to my first ever YouTube video. I'm so excited. My name is Dalila. I'm the founder of Hug My Hair, and today is the 1st of February. It's also World Hijab Day, Exhibit A, so I thought I'd wear something apt. I'm really excited to answer your questions today. I love the questions you guys sent in. When I first saw them, I thought, wow, I'm going to have to do some research on this. So if you see me keep looking down, it's because I've got my laptop with me and I've just got your questions on here so I can answer you properly. Question number 1. Now this was an interesting one. Is there such thing as 0% breakage? I wish. So the short answer to this is yes, but the long answer is I have not met anyone in my days of living, and I've been living for 28 years now, that has experienced 0% breakage. Although in theory it's absolutely possible. So I can imagine that you'd have to either not have friction on your hair ever, or have 100% perfect moisture all of the time, which is quite rare. But what you can do is aim for that, and there's nothing wrong with aiming high. There's nothing worse than aiming low and missing. So the advice I'm going to give you is that we must first answer this question properly and be clear on the definition of what is breakage and what is hair shedding. Now, when you when your hair breaks, it's because your hair is very weak, probably because of damage, maybe heat damage, lack of moisture. So when the hair gets so weak that it literally just snaps, that is hair breakage. Whereas hair shedding is absolutely normal, everyone has it. It can happen daily. In fact, daily we lose up to 100 strands a day. They say the statistic is 50 to 100 strands in one day. So don't be alarmed at all if you come home and you brush your hair and you've got a clump of hair that's shed. It's absolutely normal. If, like me, you cover your hair and you see all your shedded hair all at once, don't be overwhelmed, because again, it's absolutely normal. Just make sure that when you get home at the end of the day, you take your scarf off and let your hair breathe. Question number 2 is, no matter how much I moisturize my hair, it's still breaking. What do I do? So this poor girl, she's putting moisture in her hair over and over again, but it doesn't matter what she does, her hair is still breaking into little bits and pieces all over. So what I'd recommend for this is that, again, trying to understand your hair, because your hair is supposed to be, well, it is, your hair is at its strongest and most defensive state when it's moisturized. So if you're moisturizing your hair and your hair is still breaking, there's something amiss there. So the first thing you want to do is try to understand your hair. And the first point I've got here is on hair porosity. So your hair porosity is basically how good your hair is at absorbing and retaining moisture. And a good way to test this is to just take a couple of strands in your hair and pop it in a cup of water, let it soak for about 2 to 4 minutes, and if your hair sinks to the bottom, then you've got high porosity. If your hair floats on top, then you've got low porosity. If you have low porosity hair, it means that your hair doesn't easily absorb moisture, and this is because the shaft of your hair strand, this is the outer layer of your hair strand that protects the inner cortex, has little what do I call them, little flakes. So the cuticle layer of your shaft, whereas lots of people have kind of lifted cuticle layers that allows the moisture to sink in, your cuticle layers lay a lot flatter and smoother, meaning that moisture can't get in. But it's not a bad thing that the layers of your hair lays flatter and smoother. It's actually the condition of hair that most hair products are trying to achieve for you, so it's actually a good thing. It just means that you need to lay off adding oils to your hair, too much oil, too much butter, because this can be an extra barrier to allowing moisture to get into your hair, and that's not what you want. What you want is to absorb the moisture. So what you want to do is try maybe a bagging method. This is when you condition your hair but you cover it with a plastic bag. You just put it around your head and let the heat open up the cuticle layers of your hair, a bit like opening the pores on your skin when you're steaming your face. So once your cuticle layer is open, the moisture is then able to enter, and the longer you leave the cap on your head, then the more opportunity it has for the moisture and the nutrients and all the good stuff from your conditioner to get in. And then when you take off your plastic bag and you rinse out your hair, try rinsing with cooler water, which will then help to seal the cuticle layer again, and you should notice pretty much an immediate improvement in your hair. And just monitor your hair to see how your hair is responding to products. Maybe keep a hair journal and just note how your hair is responding and how often you've done a practice. Maybe you've done it too often in 1 week, maybe you need to do it a bit less often to see whether your hair likes what you're doing with it. So I've taken every question and I've got a blog on each one on my website, so there's a lot more detail if you want more answers to your questions. I could literally talk for a very long time in this video, and I don't want to over talk at people who want quick answers to things. So let's skip forward and go on to the third question. Is it normal for hair to break after trimming? Short answer, no. It is not normal for your hair to break after trimming. So trimming and breaking hair should not come as one experience at all. What you want to do when you trim your hair is ideally you want to get rid of all the damaged hair. The ends of your hair are the oldest parts of your hair, so they're bound to be the driest. They've been through the most, friction, they've been through the most styling, so they're going to be weak and they're going to be the most prone to breakage. So when you're trimming your hair, ideally you want to cut all of that off. Now, if like most people, including me, you'd rather retain a bit more length, what you want to do is maybe trim off just a little bit, but then you have to be aware that you are risking further breakage by cutting off more than you're growing. So if your hair grows 1 centimetre a month and you're cutting off more than that, then you're not going to see the length of your hair, but what you will have is healthier looking hair. So it's up to you, depending really on what your priorities are. That's why people tend to do the big chop and cut off everything all in one go, which I've done once. I'll probably do it again, but I'm not really ready for that now. No, not ready for that now. So yeah, it's not normal. So what you want to do is either cut off a lot more or expect your hair to still be quite fragile after trimming. Question number 4. How do I retain moisture in my hair during the winter months? This is a very important question given the weather right now. I know the sun is shining on my face, but this is London for you. It's freezing outside, but the sun is just blazing through the window. So retaining moisture in winter months, what I've done is I've got 3 ways that you can retain moisture. And the first is to establish a hair care routine for yourself. So if you're washing your hair whenever you feel like it, say you wake up one morning, you think, my hair's disgusting, I need to wash it today, and then you wash it and you go outside and it's freezing cold, your hair hasn't had the time to adjust to that temperature change, it hasn't had the time to adjust to the moisture change, you've just drenched it with water, so you've gone outside, your hair's probably still wet, it's going to start to get cold and brittle and be prone to breakage. So what you want to do is you want to plan in when you're going to wash your hair. You want to set up a routine. You want to put it in your diary when you're going to wash your hair, you want to put it in your diary when you're going to treat your hair, because your hair in cold weather needs a lot more love. So you're going to want to do a lot more deep conditioning, a lot more treatments, just to keep it supple, keep it soft, and make sure maybe do it on a weekend when your hair can adjust to the temperatures indoors and not freak out when you step outside your door. And the second thing you want to do is wear more protective styles. Now, protective styling, you probably know what it is, but for those of you who don't, it's when you want to tuck away the most fragile parts of your hair, which is the ends of your hair, because they've been there the longest, as I said. You want to tuck them in and protect them. And also in this weather, in a protective style could include wearing a hat to cover your hair, because the wind and the winter chill is literally stealing moisture from your hair when you go outside, and when you lose moisture your hair gets dry and again it's prone to breaking, and we don't want to lose our hair. So wear a protective style, maybe tie your hair in a bun, or have your hair in twists. I have my hair in twists quite often, and then I'll tie those twists up in a ponytail. If you don't want to pull your hair back, you could try leaving it down but in twists, and just collect maybe the ends of the twists together and tuck that into a cute little style. Maybe wear a hat on top of that, or have like a front twists. I've got a couple of styles that I've posted on my blog, so if you just I'll put the links at the bottom of the description of this YouTube video, and you can click on those and click in to see what I'm talking about. But I really recommend leaving your hair in one style for a longer period of time, but you still have to take care of it, you still have to oil it, you still have to moisturize it and protect it, because protective style doesn't mean you're neglecting your hair, it means you're protecting your hair from the external environment. Point number 3 on how you can retain moisture in winter months is to learn your hair's protein and moisture balance. This can be a bit tricky at first, but a good way to start that is to try the porosity test that I told you about, putting your hair in the water. Once you've done that, you can learn how to prevent your hair from getting too dry, especially if you're keeping a journal. So if your hair is weak, you're going to need more protein. If your hair is brittle, you want to add more moisture. If your hair isn't retaining moisture, you want to increase your use of oils. Try jojoba, broccoli oil, coconut oil. These are really good for sealing in the moisture. So maybe walk around with a spray bottle of water in your handbag, and when your hair is feeling a bit dry, spray it with water and then add a bit of oil through your hair as well. And if you're escaping the cold and heading off somewhere more tropical, and we won't get jealous, you're going to be in a humid climate, so you're going to want to increase the number of humectants you're using. Now, a humectant is a substance that helps to retain the moisture in your hair. So something like honey, glycerin, products with these in are good for humid weather. I've got a bonus point number 4 on the blog. I'll leave that on there, so you can go and read that later, and I'll move on to the next question. This question I get quite often. So it's, I have alopecia. Are there any tips and advice that you can give me on a thinning hairline, products to use? So I got 2 questions that were very similar. One was specifically about androgenetic alopecia at the front, and if you don't know what alopecia is, it's female pattern hair loss. And unfortunately, although I get this question often, I'm not a medical professional, so I can't give you advice, and what I do recommend is that you seek medical professional advice on this subject. What I can do, considering I was asked this question twice really, is answer your question in a more generic way, because I'm assuming what you want to do is retain the hair that you have, and maybe encourage growth as well where you can. So I've got some advice on how you can stimulate growth. I've also got some advice on how to retain the hair that you have, and again, it's low manipulation. Don't style your hair too often. Don't wear your hair in a style that pulls back your hairline. That can mess with your hairline and cause traction alopecia, where the hair from the front is pulled back so often that the little hairs get pulled from the root, and that can damage your follicles permanently. And once you damage it permanently, then your hair there is not going to grow back. The good thing about when you shed hair naturally is that a new hair will grow back in its place, whereas bad hair practices like using too much heat in your hair, tying your hair back far too often, it's going to damage your follicles. On to the next question. Do you have any tips on stimulating growth? I've got 5 points for you. The first point, drink more water. Your body is made of water, your body needs water. If you starve yourself of water, then other parts of your body are going to suffer, including your hair, so you have to stay hydrated. Point number 2, you want to massage the scalp and stimulate blood flow to your scalp. And stimulating blood flow will again feed your hair follicles and stimulate the growth to your hair. This can have a really good impact, so just practice it twice a day. It's easy, it's free, you've really got no excuses, and if you don't want to do it, ask someone to help you. Point number 3 is the use of essential oils. I personally like to use rosemary, lavender and clary sage. These are ones that you'll see quite often popping up in my products. The reason why I like to use these is because they've been tried and tested, and people love them for stimulating growth. You're going to want to use them in a diluted format. If you use them in the strongest sense, then you will really damage, you can potentially really damage your skin. So always put it in a carrier oil or dilute it in something before you apply it to your skin. Point number 4 is castor oil. Castor oil, or Jamaican black castor oil especially, is another ingredient that I like to use in my products. You'll find them in a couple of my butters, and it's been used for, well, castor oil has been used for over 4,000 years for encouraging growth. Again, massage it into your hairline and watch the results. Number 5 is extra virgin avocado oil. When I use the oil, the more extra virgin it is, the better. The greener the oil, the better, because it's retained the natural goodness, and that's what you want to apply to your skin, because your skin can absorb up to something like 60% of what you put on it, so you may as well put good things on your skin. And extra virgin avocado oil is really good because it's got high levels of antioxidants, it's got vitamin E, it combines 3 easily absorbed nutrients that have been individually recommended for stimulating growth. So why buy 3 products when you can buy 1? And again, there's a bonus point on there on how you can stimulate growth on my blog, so go ahead and check it out at the bottom of this YouTube description, and let me know how you get on the comments section. How to create the look you're looking for without all the nasty products. So this is from a girl who reached out to me on my blog. She sounded really desperate and was like, help me, I'm trying to achieve a particular look with my curls, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and I really just want to achieve it without using so many nasty products in her hair. I'll just give you the top 2 answers that I gave her, and the first one is to use a cleanser that balances the moisture in your hair. Now, you want a moisturizing cleanser and you want it to be gentle. From my own products, I'd recommend the Coconut Cleanse shampoo bar. It's natural, it has no sulfates, it has no parabens, it's 1% aroma, and it's an organic coconut aroma. It also uses organic coconut oil, so it's very moisturizing, very gentle, it lathers up very easily. There's a YouTube video you can search of how to use the Coconut Cleanse shampoo bar. So I'd recommend that for curly hair, because curly hair by nature is dry. Even though our scalp produces its own oils, when your hair is curly, it takes a lot longer for the oil to get from the scalp to the end of the curl, which is why the hair is dry. You have to moisturize it yourself. The second point I gave is to revitalize your curls with a leave-in conditioner. Now, the reason why you need a leave-in is because once you've rinsed out the good stuff from your hair, the moisture is going to evaporate pretty much as soon as you put it in. So you need to have a moisturizer that's going to stay in your hair, one that has within it a sealant also. So any kind of butter, shea butter is good. So I have recommended Kinky Curly Not Today. I've heard really good reviews about that hair product, but if a cream, liquid cream, isn't your thing. You could also try my Because I Live You moisture sealing hair butter. It's got olive oil in it, again extra virgin. It's got coconut oil and shea butter, grapeseed oil and other essential oils. So just melt that between your hands and then smooth it through the length of your hair. Avoid the scalp because your scalp has greases of its own and you don't want to over grease your hair, and you only really need a tiny amount, so it will last you quite a while. And that's the end of the question and answer. Thank you so much for sending in all of your questions. I really enjoyed doing the research to answer them. I really enjoyed writing up the blog post for you, so do check them out. Please subscribe to hugmyhair.com and you will receive monthly quality content direct to your inbox, and you're automatically entered into my Happy My Birthday to You giveaway by remaining subscribed, and you could get £100 cash or $100 or £100 worth of products. It's completely up to you, and that's done on the 1st of January every year, my birthday. Thanks. Goodbye.